My mother called me crying, begging for forgiveness from the one-bedroom apartment where she now lives with my sister, the same mother who convinced me to lend her $150,000 for an urgent medical emergency, the same one who used that money to buy a three-story house in my sister's name, the same one who laughed in my face when I found out, saying I was too stupid to deserve an inheritance. But you know what she didn't expect? That I'm a lawyer, and that I keep all the emails, all the messages, all the receipts. I sued them both. I won the house. I rented it to a family of strangers who pay on time. Now they share a tiny apartment, while I decide if I'll ever forgive them. Want to know how I destroyed their perfect plan? Keep watching. I was always the reliable daughter. While Julia, my sister 3 years younger, spent her 20s finding herself, translation, living with mom for free, I built a career as a corporate lawyer. I worked 80 hours a week, paid for my own law school, bought my apartment at 30. Mom always made it clear that Julia was the favorite. She's more sensitive, Amanda. You're strong. You don't need as much. Translation, you're on your own. She gets everything. But I swallowed it. I paid for dinners, gave money when they asked, financed Julia's car just until she gets stable. Spoiler, she never got stable. I was the good daughter, the one who didn't cause trouble, until that phone call in March 2023. My mother called at 11 p.m., sobbing. Amanda, it's cancer, breast cancer. I need urgent surgery, but my insurance doesn't cover it. Without it, I could die, honey. My heart stopped. Of course I was going to help. How much do you need? $150,000. I know it's a lot, but it's okay, Mom. I can do it. I have savings. I'm disciplined. That money was for a down payment on a bigger house, but my mother had cancer. But it needs to be fast, and can you transfer directly to my account? It's just that I'll need to pay Labs, the surgeon. I should have been suspicious right there, but I was terrified. I transferred $150,000 in 2 installments. She asked me not to tell Julia so as not to worry the poor thing. I asked for the hospital details, the doctor's contacts. I'll send them later, love. Right now I need to run. Weeks passed. I asked about the surgery. They postponed it. They're doing more tests. Next week. I started to feel a tightness in my chest. Something was wrong. The bomb exploded on a Saturday in June, 3 months after the urgent surgery. Julia posted on Instagram a photo of her and Mom in front of a beautiful house, 3-story house, huge yard, balcony with a view. Caption, "Our new home. Thank you, Mom, for finally investing in us." I read that 5 times. My vision darkened, hands shaking. I clicked on the location. $320,000 house according to Zillow. Purchased in April, 1 month after my transfers. I called my mother. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? What house is that on Julia's Instagram? My voice came out ice cold. Silence. Then, oh, I was going to tell you, you had cancer. Where's the surgery scar? Amanda, let me explain. You lied about cancer to steal $150,000 from me? It wasn't stealing, it was an investment. The house is in Julia's name because she needs stability. You already have your apartment. I worked for that. Julia's never really worked a day in her life. Exactly, that's why she needs it more than you. Amanda, you've always had it easy. Easy? I paid for my own college while you called me a workaholic. I built everything from scratch. Look, the money's already invested. The house is a family asset. In Julia's name, not mine. Because you don't need it. One day, when I die, you'll inherit half. Lie! I broke down. You've always made it clear that you'd leave everything to her. I was just the human ATM. Amanda, you're being dramatic. It's just money. It's my life. It's years of work. It was supposed to be my house. Then come live here with us. There's plenty of room. I hung up. I sat on the living room floor. I cried. Not that pretty movie cry, it was that ugly cry, with sobs, snot, my heart shattering in real time. I spent the night awake. I read and reread her messages. Breast cancer. I could die. I need you. Lies. All lies. On Monday, I went to work on autopilot. My boss called me into a meeting, and I barely heard. I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I just existed. It was on Wednesday that it fully sank in. Julia sent me a message. Sis, Mom's upset about your fight. Can't you just accept it? The house is for the family. One day it'll be yours too. I responded, the house is in your name. Legally, it's only yours. It's a technical detail. Obviously, it's ours. Then transfer half to me. Question mark, question mark, question mark? Are you sick? The house was Mom's investment. With my money. That you gave as a gift. It's not her fault you're rich and jealous. I blocked her. That night, I opened my laptop. Lawyer, remember? I have backups of everything. I printed all the emails talking about urgent treatment, all the messages crying about cancer, proof of transfers with the description emergency medical treatment, screenshots from Instagram with the date of the house purchase, public deed of the house. I got it from the registry office. Public document. It was all there. Documentary fraud. Misappropriation through fraud. She lied about the purpose of the money to get the loan. It wasn't a gift, it was a loan under false pretenses. I called Dr. Ricardo Mendez, the best real estate lawyer I know, colleague from the firm who became a friend. Ricardo, I need to sue my mother and my sister. 2 days later, I was in his office. He read everything in silence. You have a perfect case. Eyes shining. She committed fraud, misappropriation, and since the house was bought with money provably yours, obtained through fraud, you can request reversal of the purchase. Can I keep the house? If the judge understands there was bad faith, and he will understand, yes, the house goes back to you as reparation. My heart raced. Let's do it. The summons arrived for them on a Friday. My mother called me 15 times in a row. I didn't answer. Finally, I listened to the voice message. Amanda, what madness is this? You're going to sue your own mother? After everything I did for you? I raised you. I gave you food, clothes, and you do this to me? You're an ingrate, a snake. Julia sent a long text. Have you lost your mind? What Mom did doesn't exist. She just invested the money. You're going to destroy our family out of greed? Shame on you, Amanda. Dad must be turning in his grave. I blocked them both. The next few months were hell. They hired a lawyer, a lousy one, who just kept repeating, family matter, should be resolved at home. My lawyer destroyed their arguments. At the hearing, my mother cried. A lot. Your Honor, my daughter is suing me out of jealousy of her sister. She's always been envious of Julia. I just wanted to give a home to my younger daughter, who needs it more. Dr. Ricardo stood up. Your Honor, the defendant misled the plaintiff by claiming to have terminal cancer. There are explicit emails. The plaintiff transferred $150,000, believing she was financing medical treatment. The defendant used the money to purchase property in a third party's name, the other defendant, without the plaintiff's knowledge or authorization. This constitutes fraud, misappropriation, and deception. He presented stacks of evidence. The judge flipped through in silence. Did you actually have cancer, Mrs. Helena? My mother stammered. I had a scare, some abnormal tests. Yes or no? No, sir, but I was afraid. So you lied about a terminal illness to get money, and you used that money to buy a house for your other daughter. It was supposed to be for the family. It's in Miss Julia's name, exclusively. Julia tried to speak, but I was going to share. Is that documented? Contract? Written agreement? No.
then legally the house is yours, and it was purchased with money obtained through fraud. Sentence. 6 months later. I rule in favor of the plaintiff. I order the defendants to return the full amount of $150,000 adjusted or to transfer ownership of the property to the plaintiff as reparation. Deadline, 30 days. They didn't have $150,000. Of course they didn't. The house became mine. When the bailiff arrived for the eviction, Julia was crying at the door. My mother was screaming, "You're going to put your mother on the street?" I was there. First time I'd seen them both since the lawsuit. You have 48 hours to leave. After that, the police will remove you. My voice came out firm. "Amanda, for God's sake." My mother knelt down. Literally knelt down. "I was wrong. I know I was wrong, but don't leave me with nothing. I'm your mother." You were. Until you lied about dying to rob me. It was borrowed. I was going to pay it back. Lie. You never intended to. I was just the idiot who paid for everything. Julia sobbed. "Where are we going to live?" "Not my problem. You should have thought about that before." They left. They rented a tiny one-bedroom apartment, the kind I lived in during college while supporting them. I rented my house to a lovely family, couple with 2 kids. They pay $2,800 a month, on time. 6 months later, my mother called me from an unknown number. "Amanda, I'm sorry. Truly, I ruined everything. I lost my daughter to greed. Can we talk? Now you're sorry, when you lost the house." "I always loved you." "No, you loved my money, my availability, but you never loved me. I was the tool. Julia was the daughter." "That's not—" "It's true. And you know the worst part? I would have given you that house if you'd asked honestly. But you robbed me. You deceived me. You destroyed the last drop of trust." I hung up. I blocked her again. Today, I sleep peacefully. The house gives me passive income. I use the money to travel, invest, live. Them? They're still in the apartment. Julia finally got a job. First one of her life, at 35. And my mother? She learned that there are consequences. I'm no longer the idiot daughter. I'm the owner of the house that they lost.